This auction is for an ICOM IC735. This is an all-mode 100-watt HF transceiver. Modes of operation are single sideband, CW, AM, and FM modes. The radio has Mars capability, which allows the radio to transmit and receive from 1.6 megahertz to 30 megahertz in all modes. The display, as you'll notice in the picture, is blue. It had the LEDs installed in it with a light blue cool lamp. The PLL trimmer caps have been replaced. So the radio has been well maintained. The radio looks good and works excellent. Let me show you how the radio works.
Well, it sounds good. Your audio sounds good and clean. You sound right on frequency. I do hear an AC hum in there. But other than that, yeah. We're working off the back of your antennas. You said your stroke whiskey 4. Everybody being a police officer, give up your gun, okay? It pulls flat right at 1820, and of course it's narrow banded because it's end loaded with coils. But I took it down and had a DXCC up there that was serving well. So anyway, playing with that, this is first contact on that antenna. And oh, by the way, I get carried away here. The handle is Dave, Delta Alpha.
Okay, let's try all the ham bands work.
Good luck.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike November. Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike November.
Radio contact.
WB4, GMN, Golf Mike Nancy. How copy?
Kilowatt Bravo 4 only. Roger, Whiskey 1, Norway Tango.
WB4, GMN.
Norway Tango.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike Nancy.
595. Roger, Whiskey 1, Norway Tango. You are the contest, Whiskey 1, Norway Tango.
WB4, GMN.
Florida 4.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike Nancy.
Again, Golf Mike Yankee.
WB4, GMN, Golf Mike Nancy.
Whiskey Bravo again.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike Nancy. QSL?
Whiskey Bravo 4, Golf Mike Yankee, 595.
Thank you. You're 5x9 here in Shelby, North Carolina.
Okay, thanks, Whiskey 1, Norway Tango.
Okay, so the radio's working fine. Made a quick contact. The radio, everything works on the radio as it should. it has, I can put it in ham bands, which it will go through all the ham bands. And then I can put it in megahertz, which will go in 1 megahertz steps, all the way up to 30 megahertz. Okay, go back to ham bands. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is, all the modes work. CW, AM, FM, everything works as it should. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to my dummy load, which is right here. And we're going to start down here. I'm going to put it in the CW. I got a little push to talk here. And I'm going to key it up. And as you can see, I got about 140 on 160 meters. We're on 80 meters, about 140, 40 meters, 7 megahertz, about 120, 10 megahertz, about 110, 120. Here's 14 megahertz. Over 100, 18 megahertz. And it shows on the front as well, on the meter. Over 100, 21 megahertz. Over 100, 24 megahertz. Over 100, 28 megahertz, 10 meters. A little over 100. Okay, so everything's working. Let me go back to the end. Well, you know I got modulation because I just talked to somebody, but I can go to upper sideband here. Hello. Hello. You see I got modulation. Everything on the radio works as it should. Let's go back to turn the antenna on. Oops. Well, let's try down the CW portion real quick. Okay. See if anybody's on CW. RIT. Okay. And comp works. And preamp works. Attenuator works. Back to lower sideband. Okay, anyway, the radio's in great working order. It'll include, I have a Radio Shack 13.8 volt DC 25 amp switching power supply, which I've had for quite some time, which I never used. I kept it as a spare. And it comes with an ICOM hand microphone, an HM12, with up and down frequency buttons. It has a full-length 12 volt DC power lead. It comes with the original operating manual and the brochures for the radio. Look at the pictures and bid only if you're a serious bidder, please. Thank you for looking.